Hi, I'm Steve Maskery and welcome to workshopessentials.com. Now, if you use any kind of woodworking machinery, you will know how much of a nuisance dust is. It's not just the mess that it makes. If you start to breathe it, it can become quite dangerous. You can sweep up every day, but a much better option is to extract the dust at the point at which it's being made. Now, that's easier said than done. But here are a couple of tricks that I use in my workshop that might help you as well. I've recently made a modification to my router table. I've drilled a 35mm hole in it here and then rounded off the top with just part of a roundover bit to make it nice and smooth. And it looks a bit scary, but it's for dust extraction. The dust extraction port on the back of the fence is actually very good when I'm routing the edges of a board, but when I'm doing any kind of grooved work, it's absolutely useless. So I can now take my dust extraction hose and plug it in underneath, and that collects a lot more of the sawdust than it used to. The only problem is I can't shut the door properly now, so I'm going to have to make another door which is shorter, got a gap at the bottom, but that's a job for another day. One of the things that I've noticed whilst I've been editing this film is that the dust is not getting extracted from my sliding compound miter saw as well as it used to. Now, miter saws are notoriously difficult to extract well, and even a top-of-the-range saw that costs over £1,000 does not have excellent dust extraction. This is a good saw, but the DX is really very poor indeed. But there are things that we can do to improve it. And for quite a long time I've had much better results on this because of a little modification that I made. And I've discovered that that modification is getting worn out. So I'm going to replace it. And the first thing we've got to do is isolate the saw and check that it's isolated. It wouldn't be the first time that I'd switched the machine off only to discover that it was a different machine that I switched off and the one that I was working on was live. The modification I'm talking about is this little cowl here, and this was not part of the original machine, and you can see that it's actually starting to get a bit tatty around the bottom where it's been caught on the blade, and I think this is the cause of the problem. It's easiest to fit this with this piece off the saw, so we just remove a couple of screws. And this just pulls out. And now it's off, it's very easy to see where the problem is. There's a big gash right in the centre, which is the main line for the sawdust. So I need to take this off and use it as a template for my new one. It's got to fit nicely in the inside of this, and that way it'll all get scooped up. This is the material from which I'm going to make a new cowl, and it's roofing membrane. It goes on underneath the tiles. It's incredibly tough stuff. There's no way that you can tear it, but it cuts easily with a pair of scissors. And I'm going to glue it to the inside of the extraction port there. I'm cleaning off all the old glue on the inside with some recycled thinners that I keep for this kind of dirty work. There we go. That should take some glue nicely now. Now I need to glue this to the inside of this metal bracket, and I want to keep the shiny side to the dust so that it helps it have a slippery surface so the dust gets sucked away. So I've got to apply adhesive on the matte side. I've made a little mask here out of some wallpaper, and I really want to have no more than that exposed. Like that. In fact, why don't we just stick it down? And I'm using some heavy duty spray adhesive. Now I've got to get this on the inside without it getting stuck halfway, because this is very strong adhesive. So roll it up, start at one end and unroll it like that, and then I can press it down. And I think that's good for another year or two. We'll see if this is any better. Well, I did say it wasn't perfect, but I do think that's an improvement. The biggest problem is when it goes through the gap here, it flattens out and is not scooping the air in as much, so that's when there's a sort of extra puff of sawdust out the back. But it's certainly better than nothing, and if you can come up with a better idea, you could become a very rich person. Now, if you found that helpful, can I encourage you to go and visit www.workshopessentials.com. There you will find my DVDs, which are packed with ideas for the workshop. There are jigs, gadgets, accessories that will make your woodwork easier, safer, more accurate, and generally a lot more enjoyable. There are 5 DVDs in the series at the moment, and I'm filming a 6th one right now. You can buy them individually, or you can save a bundle by buying a bundle. So go to workshopessentials.com today and get yourself a bargain. Thank you for watching. Until the next time, enjoy your workshop. Cheerio!